I love Mexico. I love the people, the art, the culture, the beaches, and of course, the food. And let's not forget about this guy right here. I've been to Mexico only twice in my life, and each time I have gone, I found it to be a warm, inspiring place. Today on Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas, we are going to make a delicious Mexican lasagna, and I hope it inspires you to try this recipe.
I'm shaking my maracas. I'm excited. Today on Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas, we're gonna make some delicious Mexican lasagna, so stay tuned. Hey, so welcome back to Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas. So let's talk about the ingredients you're going to need for our delicious Mexican lasagna today. The first thing you're going to need is 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. You're going to need 1 pound of ground beef. This is 92% lean, 8% fat. You're going to need 3 cups of cheese. 2 cups need to be the Mexican style cheese. It's a mix of Monterey Jack, cheddar, Zadero cheese, and I get this at Target. This is just the Mexican style cheese that's a mix. And this is the reduced fat. I try to pick out some reduced fat products here to help us out a little bit. You're also going to need 1 cup of mild cheddar. If you like yours a little spicier, you don't have to use mild, but I use the mild cheddar. So that's 1 cup of that, and again, reduced fat. This is La Victoria red enchilada sauce, once again mild. This is a 28 ounce can, but you will not be using that much. You'll probably be using about half of that. And the same thing goes with the Hunt's diced tomatoes. This is a 28 ounce can, but you'll probably be using half of that. You will use 1 full can of Fiesta corn. This is seasoned with red and green peppers. So I like the Fiesta corn with this. If you wanted to just use regular corn, you can do that. You will use a 4 ounce can of diced green chilies right here. This is a 16 ounce can of refried beans right there. And you will need a small can of tomato sauce. This is 8 ounce can. So just a small can of tomato sauce. Plus some taco seasoning mix. You can use any brand you like. This is Old El Paso, once again mild. And you will need onions. This is around, I used 1 full white onion. Now 3/4 of it is going to be for this Mexican lasagna. And then I got a little bit of it and I put it over here. That's gonna be for our guacamole that we're gonna make with this Mexican lasagna. So with that guacamole, you'll add probably 1 Roma tomato that's chopped. Like I said, this is not even, maybe this is probably about 2 tablespoons of white onion. And this is about 2 tablespoons of cilantro. And you can use lime or lemon juice. I'm gonna be using lemon juice for that. And then I'm using 3 avocados. For the Mexican lasagna, it's super important that you need flour tortillas. We will cook up our flour tortillas first. You don't have to, but I think it tastes better when you cook up your tortillas first, and I cook it up in a little bit of butter. And you'll need a 9 by 13 baking dish and some spray. This is non-stick spray, olive oil, Pam, for that baking dish. And for some seasoning, we're also going to need minced garlic. You're gonna use 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, salt and pepper, of course. And I believe that is it. And so when we get cooking, we're gonna start with the Mexican lasagna, so stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. So we're gonna start doing our meat mixture, and I have my 1 pound of ground beef. Remember, this is 92% lean, 8% fat. And get my wooden fork over here. And what we're gonna add to our meat mixture is our cumin, which is 1/2 a teaspoon. Let me find my 1/2 teaspoon. 1/2 a teaspoon of ground cumin. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Now, even though we're going to be using that taco seasoning mix, I really want this to be spiced really, really well. That's why I'm adding this into the meat first, adding some salt and pepper. This is probably going to be around 1 teaspoon of pepper and 1 teaspoon of salt. All right, so I'm going to mix that together with my fork. You want to make sure it's very well mixed with those spices. So that's pretty well mixed. And now we're going to start cooking our onions and garlic. Okay, so welcome back. So I'm gonna get my skillet here and I'm gonna put the flame on to around medium flame. I wanna heat up my skillet first, and then I'm going to coat the bottom of the skillet with extra virgin olive oil. It's around a tablespoon or so. And then we're going to cook up our onions first and then add our garlic to it. Okay, so my pan is pretty much heated and I'm gonna add my extra virgin olive oil. Just make sure that the bottom is coated. Okay. And then I'm going to heat up that extra virgin olive oil and add my onions. This is probably around 3/4 of a whole white onion. Okay, so my oil is pretty much heated up. I'm going to get my onions here. Remember, make sure you finely chop up your onions. We're gonna let our onions cook for around 3 to 4 minutes. While the onions are cooking, I got my 1 can of tomato sauce. That's that small can, and I'm adding it to my meat mixture. And I'm just going to stir that in there until it's well combined. I'm gonna add just a little bit of freshly ground pepper to the onions. I'm not gonna add salt, I'm just gonna add a little more pepper. I'm going to now turn down my heat just a little bit. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Sounds like a lot, but it's going to be so good with it. I'm going to mix it with those onions. So I'm going to let it cook with the garlic for another minute or so. All right, so now I'm going to add my meat mixture. Put up the flame back to a medium. And I'm just going to make sure that that beef and those onions are well combined. So I'm gonna really stir that in there well. Okay, so my beef is cooked up really nicely. I'm going to add now my taco seasoning mix. Stir that in. And now I'm going to add my green chilies. Give that a nice stir. The slotted spoon, because you want it drained. I'm going to use around half of this can. This is a 28-ounce can of the diced tomatoes. Add my Fiesta corn. Remember, this is 1 full can of Fiesta corn. This is a 15-ounce can. And the last thing I'm gonna add is this is my refried beans. Stirring that in, mixing it all together. Look at that, doesn't that look good? Wow, it looks so yummy already. Okay, so once this is all mixed, what you want to do is turn off the heat, and then we're going to start working on our tortillas. So I'm going to heat up some butter in this little omelet. It's actually an omelet pan. And I'm gonna heat up my tortillas. And the way I do it is, once the butter is melted and the pan is nice and hot, then I place it on there, flip it over, and I wanna make sure that it kind of puffs up a little bit. Once you see it puffs up a little bit, getting a little brown, you don't wanna burn it, but a little bit brown, then you take it out. And that's how I like to cook up my tortillas. So hopefully you can see how that's kind of puffing up just a little bit. And now it lets us know we can flip it over. So I'm gonna flip it over. Wow, look how nice that's puffing up. Can you see that? Look how that's puffing up. All right, so I wanted to show you, here are all my tortillas that have been cooked. I'm just going to place them on top of each other. It's a little hot. And I'm just going to cut them in half, just like that. All together, get a nice sharp knife and just cut them in half, just like that. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're gonna spray our baking dish with that Pam spray. This is the olive oil. Make sure it's mostly covered. And then I have some of this red enchilada sauce. So I'm just going to get my spoon, do a nice little thin layer at the bottom. Kind of move it around a little bit. Add just a little bit more. You want to make sure that the bottom is covered with that enchilada sauce. This is the red enchilada sauce. Just like that. Okay, that looks good. And then we're going to start layering our tortillas. So you probably want to use around a third of your pile. Just like that. Okay, so we have our first layer there. Gonna add a little bit more sauce on top of that. Just kind of thinly put your sauce on there. Just cover it up. And then we're gonna do, see how nice that looks? We're gonna sprinkle some cheese. So I'm going to add, make sure your hands are washed. So I'm gonna first add a little bit of the Mexican style cheese. That's a mix. This is the shredded cheese, of course. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of that, just cheddar cheese. Which the Mexican style cheese already has the cheddar in it, but I really wanted more cheddar there. All right, now I'm gonna add that mixture here. This is my bean and beef mixture. And those are the layers. So next layer, we're gonna add the tortillas again, and then it's gonna be sauce and cheese, and then the beef. So I'm gonna continue doing that, and then just spread that out. Wow, that looks good. This is a really excellent Mexican lasagna or casserole. It's gonna be so yummy. Top it with some guacamole and sour cream. What could be better? And this is a great family meal. You have a family, this would be a great meal to make any day of the week, really. And it's pretty easy. All right. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna add our last layer of the tortillas and a little bit of the sauce and then the cheese. Okay, so what I want to show you really quick. So with my 12, I came to about that much. So I was a little short. So it's probably because of the way I layered it this time. So I just cooked up 2 more tortillas and that should really do the job. Just like that. Yeah, there you go. So 2 more tortillas. So this actually used 14 tortillas and I cooked, like I said, all of them up in a little bit of butter and just layered it. Now I'm gonna do my last bit of sauce on the top. And once again, you just want to do it to where it's nicely covered. And then we're going to add the rest of our cheese. This is the Mexican mix and then the cheddar. If you wanted to add a little bit more cheddar on top, you can do that. Nice little layer of cheese on top. Looks yummy. Now we're going to put it in cover. We're going to cover it up with some aluminum foil and we're going to put it in the oven for 20 minutes and it's at 375 degrees. Okay, so while my Mexican lasagna is cooking in the oven, let me make my guacamole. And you're going to need around 3 avocados. And the way you know an avocado is ready is when you kind of press on it, and if it's slightly tender, then you know it's ready. If it's hard, then you know you're gonna have to wait. So what I do, I usually just cut my avocado going around in half. There is the pit, and I just kind of get my knife and kind of push it and then fold it out. And so you want to do that, and I have what this is called a molcajete. If you don't have a molcajete, you can just use a regular bowl and kind of just mix it up in a bowl, but I'm going to use my molcajete here. So let me continue cutting my avocados. See, this one I just kind of squeezed and the pit came out right away. So it's not that hard. And to scoop out the avocado, you can use a spoon. And I'm just going to just scoop it out into my molcajete here. This is gonna be so good. I just love avocados. Avocados are like my favorite. Make sure you don't get any of that skin. So just kind of scoop it, just like that. All right. So let me put this aside. So right now I'm going to add around 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. At first, I got to taste it usually. Okay, probably going to use a little bit more than that. And I'm going to use get my onions. Remember, this was around 2 tablespoons. My tomatoes and cilantro. Okay. I'm gonna start smashing. You don't want to smash it. You want to leave a little chunky, you know? Chunky, but not funky. All right. That looks good. Let me give it a little taste to see if it needs anything. We're gonna also add a little salt and pepper. Let me do that now before I taste it. So a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And really it's to taste, so if you feel like you want to add more salt or pepper, then you can do that. Let's give that a nice little mix right now. Okay. Good. Add a little bit more salt, and I'm going to add a little bit more lemon. Just a little drizzle. Of course, you can use juice from a real lemon. I just happen to have lemon juice in the house, so I'm just using that. Another taste. Perfect. Excellent. Really easy to make. Delicious guacamole. Remember, molcajete. Oh my gosh, look at that. That looks so good. I'm gonna show you up close. Doesn't that look so delicious? Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to taste that. I have my plate here. Okay, we're ready to try it. I cannot wait to taste this Mexican lasagna. I have a little guacamole. I'm gonna add a little guacamole here. I'm going to actually use a spoon to kind of spoon it out. Wow, look at that. That looks so good. Add a little sour cream. Oh my gosh, perfect. Okay, I cannot wait to taste this. It looks so yummy. Add a little sour cream to it. Oh my god. Holy moly. Guacamole. Oh my gosh. It is so good, guys. Oh my gosh. You have to try this out. This is delicious. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I hope you enjoyed Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas today. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and like this video. And until next time, adios. Happy cooking. Bye-bye.